Hi Suzzanne, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. So, Suzzanne, how is there a correlation between sports teams and business teams?
There's a huge correlation because as a sports team, you've got to be functioning as one team, all going in the same direction to get to the goal or to get to achieve the win or whatever it is you're wanting to achieve. And exactly the same in business. If everybody is fully engaged in the goal and clear of where they want to actually get their organisation to, then it means everyone's going in the same direction at the same time and they're very clear on the goal. So it's there's a lot of correlations.
So, if there's such a strong correlation between the two, are there any similarities or what are the kind of steps that sports teams use that businesses can also harness?
Yep. Great question. So one of the things that I often, as a business coach, I've worked with a lot of business owners. So one of them, or the first one that comes to mind is having a common goal. Often I'll say to business owners, what's the goal for your business or what's the goal for certain team members in the next 12 months? And they're not clear. So if they're not clear on what the goal is, then the team is not going to be clear on what the goal is. So having a clear goal for a team, whether it's a sporting team or a business team or a family team, is important. The other similarity is the rules of the game. You know, really important to have the rules of the game clear. So if we're playing football, Aussie rules, we all know what the rules are. And that keeps us all clear on what's expected, what's not expected, what's allowed, what's not allowed. But then in business, sometimes there is no clear rules of the game. So if the culture is not defined of an organisation, there will always be a default culture. So is it acceptable to use your phone when in work time? Is it acceptable to wear jeans at work? Is it acceptable to swear at work? What is the rules of the game of your organisation and how clear are you about those rules? So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, heaps of sense, yeah. I mean, one of the questions we did have were about rules. In the businesses that you've coached, do you see that they're harnessing these rules in specific ways?
Oh, absolutely. I've just gone on an amazing journey over the last 3 months with an organisation at creating their team for being a reasonably well-performing team to a highly performing team. And one of the first things we did up front was get very clear on what is their culture and what are the behaviours that we need to see to verify that is acceptable in their rules of the game. And they all agreed between themselves what they would like to see. And so there was, supporting people, holding each other, holding people accountable to, doing what they say they're going to do. Backing up people if there is, if they've got a challenge in their role. You know how sometimes in a role people only do their role and they won't do somebody else's.
Yep.
So they agreed that if people need a hand, they're going to step in and help other people in different roles. Clear, honest, open communication. There was a lot of communication not happening before, and now we've got clear, honest communication. We've set up a once a week where we give feedback, positive and areas of improvement, and that's been huge. They've loved it, and that's important for people to know. Where does everyone think I should improve on? What am I doing really good? What am I bringing to this that's a real asset to this team? And what am I doing that is maybe could have improvements, and getting people's feedback on that. And that's great, because normally it's exactly the same thing that the person feels that they should improve on.
Yeah, well, you mentioned communication there, and we often hear about how important communication is in every aspect of life. What are some of your tips and tricks on how to communicate effectively within a team?
So I think having a regular forum for honest, open communication is important, because sometimes people are a bit scared to want to bring up a subject. But if we've predefined a forum so that things don't bubble or build up, so So it could be in regular performance reviews, one-on-one with the person who you're working with. So you're reviewing their performance as an organisation and their communication, and they're reviewing your performance and your what you've achieved in the organisation. But the other is regular team meetings with a place in the agenda for open feedback. But one of the things we have around the open feedback is a clear understanding that it's not being personal. With open feedback, it can't be personal. It's got to be constructive. No one's allowed to laugh at it. There's certain, I suppose, rules around giving good feedback and having good constructive communication. So just making the time for it regular, so nothing boils up, so that there's nothing left under the surface bubbling.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not as educated in the area as you, but what you say makes sense. I mean, I do find people that I interact with sometimes aren't great at taking constructive criticism, because sometimes it can appear that it's all coming at once. But if you, address the problem quickly in a professional environment, I completely see how you would have seen that working within businesses. So with Action Coach, you claim that you will find the fee in the business within the 17 weeks, or the coaching is free. This is obviously like a huge claim, which obviously you would stick to. So how can people who want to improve their business get in touch with you?
Just look up my website, and my details are on there. My name is Suzzanne Laidlaw, and it's Z and N. And I'm always happy to have a coffee or have a chat with somebody, and see in what areas of their business we can look at improving, and what that would actually be. Often there's money left lying on the table in businesses, and it can be due to the team not functioning well, or it can be through lack of knowledge. Often people go into business because they're good at what they do, but they haven't had any education or experience around running a business.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us today. Some really insightful stuff there, and hopefully some people have learnt something and they'll get in touch with you if they want to improve their business as well.
No worries. I would love to talk to them. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Suzzanne, so make sure you check out her website if you're interested in improving your business.